I want to start with a reading from A Course in Miracles that just jumped out. You are my goal, only you. Where would I go but home? What could be a substitute? What gift could I prefer before the peace of God? What treasure would I seek and find and keep that can compare with my true self? And what would I rather live with, fear than love? You are my goal. What but you could I desire to have? What way but that which leads to you could I desire to walk? And what, except the memory of you, could signify to me the end of dreams and futile substitutions for the truth? You are my goal. Harvest seems to be a very easy word, but I really kind of had to think about it, what it all could mean. So I looked it up on the internet. And it is the result or consequence of any thought, belief, act, process, or event. It is the effects of our prolonged, repeated, and believed thoughts, even the, or especially the unconscious ones. So it is the effect of our attitudes and focus. And what consciousness looks at, it becomes. And the principle is the same for any type of harvest, whether the edible crops or the divine nourishment. And either way, we get weeds of separation and fear, or we harvest what the divine always wants to give us. And total love and fulfillment, and the flowering of our hearts. So here you see, in my garden, I've learned how to nurture the crops that I want. And I wasn't very good at pulling out weeds. I really didn't like that job. But in the garden, I had to learn that. Otherwise, I wouldn't get very good crops. And so lately, especially this year, and I learned to pull the weeds from the mind, from the heart, all the weeds that were kind of drowning out and taking attention away from my true heart, from my true harvest. And that is always offered. And so I want to show you what is happening to us. We focus where we focus. That is what we actually increase. So, when we see a picture like this, we laugh, but it's exactly what's going on in our minds. The solution is always there. We just focus so much on the things we don't want. Yeah, we have like 6,000 thoughts a day. Can you imagine that? Maybe over 6,000. But each thought creates. It has an effect. It has an energy that creates. And so we would really want to be aware of what we're putting out and the consequences of what we're putting out. And we all know the principle, but to apply it in day-to-day life is not always so easy. And so I have asked myself the questions, what is needed for a really rich divine harvest, the harvest of the heart, the flowering of the heart? And I came to I like it short and brief. In short, we need to eliminate the weeds and nurture the crop we want. And we need to become skillful and intentional and focused and dedicated in only that. Now, that is much easier said than done. And in my life, what was in the way was a lot of pain that I carried from early childhood throughout my life. And it was playing like a broken record, over and over. And it was preventing my heart from really, really accepting the divine nourishment that was always available. And I can say now that I am so much better at accepting it and so much better at not focusing in a negative way on myself or others or the world. Because whenever we see something wrong with anything, it's a reflection. We're trying to polish the mirror out there. While it's not in the mirror, it's within us. We need to polish the one that shows up in the mirror, not the mirror. And the first contemplation is, what is your biggest obstacle in the heartful harvest of total love? That's what life does. It recycles these themes for us. So we get it, the chance over and over and over to make the correction in the mind. Because it's all about clearing the mind of all the limitations. And as I said, it's easier said than done. But, you know, I have good news. I used to think I was the most hopeless person in the world. And I felt kind of stuck with a very powerful, strong, stubborn German mind. But it really has, there have been breakthroughs that I consider to be miraculous. And when I really prayed and surrendered and got down on my knees, then God brought me the right tools. And that is what I really needed to do. I needed to really say, hey, I can't fix it. I just can't do this anymore. And then all these beautiful, really cutting edge tools came into my life. And then it could really, just like a dam broke, it washed away the debris, you know. I have another quick question for you. How can we claim the harvest that God has in mind for us? What helps you the most to your fullest heart's love? Just to keep it simple and short today, I identified 3 steps that are very helpful. And the first one is always and always and always awareness, just to notice what is there. Because we tend to skip over stuff in day-to-day life. We tend to just kind of, something doesn't feel right, or we just kind of move on or distract ourselves, or we don't even notice. And then the second step is to allow, especially if it's something very uncomfortable or painful, to allow it to be and to not have judgment about it. That's our default, is resistance and judgment. But to not go into panic or judgment, to just simply allow it and take a deep breath and just be for a moment and check in with your body, with yourself, and just take a pause. And then step 3 would be to engage with that which is perhaps challenging for us and difficult, and engage in a new way that is healing, a new way that holds a healing orientation. When the heart fully flowers, I look at it like this. And I wish for all of us a heart like this. And then I want us to be free like a butterfly. And even while we're here still in a body on this heavy earth, our spirit can be like this.